I'm interviewing Richard Valencia. Where were you drafted, or when did you enlist?
I enlisted in 95.
Where were you living at that time?
I was living here in Coachella. I was living from place to place, living with friends. Yeah, I joined in 95.
So what branch did you join, and why did you join?
Army. My dad was in Vietnam. He was in the Army. My grandfather was in the Korean War, Army. So it was an easy pick for me.
And do you remember what the first few days of your service were like? Basic training?
Oh my God! Now you guys already heard some of these stories, but I don't know why it was always me when it came down to crazy stuff. So once we leave MEPS, right? We leave MEPS, they give us this little folder, and it was just me and this other guy. We're flying to Kentucky, from San Diego to Kentucky. So we have our pamphlets, but nobody tells you what to do, and they tell you not to open the pamphlet. So we're like, okay, well, we're flying to Kentucky. We know that. Get on the plane, fly to Kentucky. While on the flight, we meet some sergeant he was a staff sergeant. But he worked there. So he was like, so where do we go from here? And he's like, oh, well, I can give you guys a ride. I'm like, cool, all right, well, we got that figured out. So we're on the flight, and he's telling us, basic training, not, how it's gonna be and stuff like that. Of course, back then, they'd still put hands on you. So we get there, and this dude, we just throw all our bags in the back of his truck, go on the base, and he drops us off, and I'm not even lying to you, it's a little box. It's a train, like a bus station, and then there's a phone, but no phone numbers. It's just a phone, like a bat phone or some craziness. So we're standing there, okay, well, where do we go from here, bro? We never been on an Army base ever before, and of course I'm looking at the phone. I was like, all right, well, somebody's got to answer the phone, I guess. So I pick it up, and it starts ringing, and some voice on there is like, who the fuck is this? And I was like, this is Richard Valencia, and I remember his name, Tony Franco, or was it Franco? Anyways. He's like, we're here for basic training. He's like, you two are the sons of bitches we've been waiting on at the fucking airport. You stay your asses right there. I'm like, oh, fuck. Already, dude. Not even there fucking 10 minutes, and we're already in trouble. White van, one of those big old white passenger vans, comes up. The damn dude, fucking drill sergeant, just slams that open, bro. We're like, he's like, get your fucking bags and get in the van, you stupid motherfuckers. We've been looking for you fuckers for hours. And we're like, bro, nobody gave us instructions, bro. So that was my first ever, I'm getting my ass chewed already, and basic training hasn't even started. I just got here and I'm already in trouble. And that's pretty much the way it went from there.
Okay, so you mentioned one of the first camps you went to in Iraq was Camp Victory. So how was life there? How did things work there?
Victory was crazy because it was Camp Victory, Loyalty, I think that's what it was called. It was huge. It was ginormous. I mean, that's where division headquarters was. So as far as the base, you could literally drive 30 minutes and you'd still be on base. It was right by the airport. When we first made that initial push, that's where the fighting really kind of stopped. Once we got to the airport, they couldn't get anything in and out, you know what I mean? So it was all right. So and then we just started expanding from there, but that's one of the bigger bases. Bro, I mean, anything. They had Pizza Huts, Burger Kings, all these little, of course they had a PX, you can go shopping. They had and this is probably, I might be, not, we called them Haji shops, you know what I mean? That's where they sell all the DVDs, whatever you needed. If you needed your Xbox, hooked up with the chip or whatever, you take it to those dudes and they'd hook it up. So as far as the amenities that they had over there, it was pretty crazy. So, but that was probably the nicest place that I'd stayed, because we actually stayed in little shoes. It was little, it was we had our own room. So the first time getting deployed out there to that, it was okay. But after that, nah, bro, we weren't that lucky. But Victory or Loyalty, they had all the amenities. That's where all the concerts would be held and stuff. So when all these celebrities go, they go to usually the big bases, and that's where they, I can't remember, it was Superman at the time, Dean Cain I think was, and then some WWE female or whatever, so, shaking hands and doing all that stuff. But we never got to see that shit. So.
And you made close friends out there on Camp Victory? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the guys that we went with. You know what I mean? Like, so the guys that we deployed with, that's your crew, you know what I mean? That's like your football team, bro. It's like you don't go anywhere. Like, yo, I'm going to the PX. Who wants to go? All right, yo, I'll roll. You know what I mean? We're always together. There's always 3 or 4. We went to the gym. There's always at least 3 or 4 of us. When we went to go eat, there was 6 or 7 of us. It's like we just stayed within ourselves, because it was crazy. Like when you're working, because of course we'd have to run our missions and stuff like that, whatever it was. But every time we'd be in, one of the other teams would be out. So there's never like 2 teams in at once. So it's a constant rotation. So whenever you're in, somebody else is going in. You know what I mean? So it was always just you guys. You know what I mean? So, and then the dudes that you do meet out there, you meet some cool folks and stuff like that. But it's more like, you know, you hang out with the homies. Yeah. You hang out with your boys. Circle. Yeah.
So you said you were deployed 3 different times. You mentioned Camp Victory. Where exactly else did you go?
Camp Victory, that was my first tour. Taji, that was my second tour. Taji was a big base like Victory. It didn't have so many of the amenities, but that was probably the worst place. We're in a bad area, so that deployment was rough. The third time was a Falcon, and that was like right off. That was another messed up place. So like the first deployment didn't compare to, I mean, you know, the second and third. The second and third were pretty rough, but the first deployment we still lost our guy. I mean, as far as we still had stuff happen, but the way we were living, the living conditions were 10 times better than we were at. Like,
so it was just a total difference between Camp Victory. And
yeah. Like it was funny. Like the mission that we had at Victory wasn't as intense, like, you know what I mean? We weren't like in Mosul, and we weren't some of those other places until like, well, that's when our next few deployments, that's when we were like, okay, now we're in the shit, you know what I mean? So that's where like our areas were rough, were pretty tough areas. So
what were some of your jobs or assignments or missions you had while in the camps you had to do?
Really, it was all patrols. That's all we did. We stayed out, and for the first tour, I did security for Sergeant Major, and I was like his security detachment, whatever. So wherever he needed to go for the week, we had a plan out, and we checked the routes, and you know what I mean. It was all patrols a lot of the time. So like, of course, Sergeant Major really didn't have anything to do with us. It's like I ran those guys. So it's like if once a week we'd have to go, and it's like, well, Sergeant Major has to go to, you know, Abu Dashir, or he has to go, you know, wherever town. And then it was, okay, well, what dates, who are we meeting? And that was up to me to like start calling, make the contacts, where we're gonna meet, how's this route, are you gonna follow us in because once we leave our AO, now we're in another AO, but we have to let everybody know you're coming, because they don't want this, okay, well, who the fuck is this motherfucker just rolling through our shit, you know what I mean? For real, fucking guys, man. Fucking dudes are like, who's this fucking truck over here, man? He's like, who's supposed to be coming through today? It's like, I don't know, there's some other fucking, you know, vehicles in our, and they have a big old identifying marks. Ours was 311. So when you see the trucks with 311, you know that's Charlie Troop, you know, 710 Cav. When you see the 211, that was either Bravo or one of the other troops. But when you see totally different numbers, you're like, and that's where you're like, yo, is Sergeant Major in here? Something like, is there some bigwig trying to find our ass, make sure everybody got everything shit on, you know what I mean? Make sure all your gloves and all that. It was crazy, man. But as far as like doing all that, that's all I really did the whole time. I mean, all my jobs, it was always reconnaissance, or we'd snatch it. Like the second deployment, that's when the shit got kind of crazy. That's when we're doing air insertions and shit like that, you know, loading up fucking helicopters, Black Hawks. And now you have Iraqi special forces, and with Iraqi special forces, you have special forces dudes, like actual special forces guys, and then you have the IA, well, the Iraqi police or the Iraqi army, and then you have those 2-3 guys that are training those guys. So whenever we did a mission, we always had to have Iraqi police or Iraqi army with us, because it was one of those things where they didn't want us just going in there and like going into a village and stuff. We always had, and we always made them like go outer, like, you know, they're not going inside the town, or, you know, we just tried to, we get them, and it always messed up, bro. Those guys, horrible. I remember one time, not even lying, sorry. we came down, and the helicopters don't really land. They just kind of hover, and you jump out, and then they fucking take off. Well, somebody put the damn IA guy, the Iraqi army guy, on the outside, and he wouldn't jump off the fucking helicopter. So we're like, go, go. The crew chief is like, go, go. And it was just like, whoop. It's like, there goes the Iraqi army, dude. Just face first, blam. And everybody just comes, leave them there. Go, go, go. Because it's all, because I mean, when they drop us off a good 5-6 miles away. Like, they're not dropping us off where we need to go. So now we got to fucking walk there. And well, you know, that's the fucking part. You're not trying not to get caught. So you're like, okay. Then by the time you get to the village, now you have an outer cordon, you have an inner cordon. And a lot of the times the special forces guys are already there. And we got our little NVGs, you put them down and the houses are already marked. Like, some of the houses be marked already. You're like, okay, cool. And we already know. We already been through this fucking game plan. I don't know how many times. Building 1, building 2. All right, first platoon's going into building 1. You guys are going in hot. Like, second building, that's platoon 2. You have the mortars that are outer cordon. You have the inner cordon. Once the inner cordon, outer cordon are set, it's the balls of the wall. Boom! And you go snatch dudes up. But that was the second time that was my second deployment, but like it was just bad, man. We had lost 27 guys that died. We lost, I want to say October 2nd, we lost 4 dudes. October 7th, we lost another 3. And then I lost Loudon. I lost Martinez. Yeah, man, it was a bad month. October was fucking horrible. As far as just losing people, man, it was crazy. Like, yeah, we managed to lose like something like 12 people that month. So it was bad, man. It was bad. But that's what we did, you know. I mean, like, I want to say, like, wow, yeah, 100% all IED kills. You know what I mean? Like, catastrophic. A whole Bradley. It's a fucking tank, man. That's a fucking tank, and they blew up a fucking like stupid shit. It was crazy. So that deployment was by far the roughest one you had. I mean, like I said, it's like you go to the gym, dude. You know what I mean? I'm working out with fucking hey dog, what's up? Hitting it, Golden Gold Blockster, dude is fucking badass. All right, bro, see you tomorrow. Same time, yeah, I'll try to get here if I can. You know what I mean? Because he was in another company, and then you already know as soon as, because what happens in Iraq when somebody dies, they turn off the internet and stuff like that, so nobody can go in and identify, you know, tell the family, or so they call it going black. So I want to say that whole month of October, like, nobody got to use their internet. Into like November, like, there was just no internet. You know what I mean? Because there was that many people fucking dying. It was crazy. But yeah, like, all of a sudden, you know something's going on. You're like, fuck, because on your day off, we're doing fucking our maintenance. That was the only day off we had, but we had to do vehicle maintenance because, of course, you know, the vehicles fucking, if they're not running, then you're not going anywhere. So, but on that day, we were in, and all of a sudden, like, yo, you guys are going to, God dang it, where were we going? Anyways, we had to get suited up, and we never get suited up unless something happens. That's why we know, like, fucking something happened. We already know something's up. Well, and then we have to go out there. Now we're having to secure, and you're just looking at a fucking Brad burn. And you're like, you see the numbers, and you know it's our guy. You're like, motherfucker, man. So it's just like days like that. You're like, motherfucker. And we had a few of those days that time. So it was just rough, man. But the third deployment, more of the same stuff. You know, I mean, what was crazy about my third deployment is, like, of course, when you think as far as Iraq and stuff, it's all Muslim, and you know what I mean. You have your you know, the different times you have your fucking Sunni, you have your Shia, and all that stuff. But that third time, the area we went, it was almost a Catholic Iraqis. You know what I mean? So the building that we had ended up having to take over, it was a Vatican building, and we didn't know. It was like, we knew it was a church, so that was like, our command was like, you got to make sure nobody's destroying the church, because it's a, you know, there was a little town, and that was their little place. So of course we surround the church, we get it all, we get to start building it up. You know what I mean? Nobody can get in or out now. And then across the street from the church, there was another, what's it called? But that was the area we were in, and those, I want to say, those people had it the worst, man. I mean, you'd find, like, people would just okay, there's 2 bodies burned, like, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we got into the area, and after, like, we kind of got, it was eerie, bro. It'd be like going down 111 or like Rodeo Drive or something like that, where you see all those businesses, you see all this thing, and there's nobody on the street. It's just like, fuck. It's like, look at all these businesses right here. It's like in the mall, and all of a sudden on the mall on a Saturday night, and nobody's there. Nobody's working. Nobody's doing anything. It's like stores are open, and nobody's trying. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. Like, bro, we'd be driving 2 miles an hour. Like, yo, watch up there. Just watch. I'm not even lying to you, bro. It'd take us like fucking 3 hours to get a mile because there's just so much. The town was fucking tore up, man. Like shit all on the side of the road. So finally, like, they got contractors to come in and like clean the road up because we couldn't tell for IED or, you know what I mean. Finally, like, it was crazy. So into that process, people were like, okay, well, there's bodies here, there's bodies there. So now we're trying to find all these bodies. It was crazy, man. Like those people by far had it the worst, man. But actually, out of all my deployments, the third one was probably the most gratifying, I guess. The way we got that area and the way we left it was night and day, man. Like, all the businesses had come back. I mean, it was just like a booming town again. It was crazy. I want to say that was probably the most satisfying, I think. We lost a few guys, but it was tough. But I mean, it wasn't anything like that second deployment. I want to say that the third deployment was the only deployment I had where I brought everybody back. Like, all my guys, they all came back with me, and I was like, and of course that's your goal. It was like, yo, dude, I don't care what happens, anything's like, my goal is to make sure everybody fucking comes back. You know, that's got to be it. You know, and of course, you know, shit, you do what you do to take care of your brothers. You know what I mean? You don't just go, it's like, no, man. You know what I mean? Shit, I do what I do because of this motherfucker. You, my truck. You know what I mean? So that's why you do what you do. But like, whenever everybody came home that time, and that was the best thing. You know what I mean? I want to say we got in trouble too. Oh yeah, fuck. Never mind. I don't even want to tell that story. I think I told you guys this story already, right? Okay. They flood when they flood, it's just called, it's like full on. They have everybody out in the streets. When shit gets crazy, it's just full on. Everybody's driving around, everybody's patrolling, we're on foot, where it's just like we flood the city, and just, it's a huge presence, you know, that way nobody's doing anything crazy. Of course, like during Ramadan, stuff like that, we have to have everybody, because in the beginning, now we're protecting the walkers that are walking towards, you know, they're doing the walk, you know, where they're walking to the Holy Land and stuff. But some people were crazy, man. They still attack people and shit like that, you know. So now, like, on that times, it's pretty much we're watching all these people walk now, we're protecting them too. But anyways, it was called Checkpoint 3 Romeo, and we literally had to walk it because this is where we're all getting killed. A lot of the guys were getting shot. Matter of fact, it's my second deployment, I'm sorry. But that's why we walked the road. Like, the vehicles would drive, and we'd have to walk off the road to see if we could see any, you know, explosives, wire, or whatever like that. That's just the way it worked. So we're going there. We've already been up for, I'm not even lying to you, but we've probably been up for 2 days going at it hard. Just 48 hours, we're finally coming in to get a little sleep, and then we're gonna have to do like a night patrol. So my dismount, Sergeant Little, which is, God rest his soul, he's a fucking, loved him. He's picking up all this stuff, because what they do, they hide them in MREs, and then they just throw them. So if you're not careful, you'll run it over, and it's a pressure plate, and it blows your ass up. So now we have to watch where we're walking, and Sergeant Little picks all this trash, and he throws it in the back of the Humvee, and we're like, we're clear. We're like, all right. So we go in, not thinking about it, get some sleep, and of course we continue mission. Well, now we're coming in, so it's like another 2 days later. So I want to say at this time we already been out for like 5-6 days. So we come in, and all the trash that we've collected, we keep in a bag and stuff like that. Or it's like cleaning the trucks out. We got to get ready for the next mission, you know what I mean? So make sure all the trucks are good. Anyways, and we're kind of bullshitting, and goddamn Mongo. We called him Mongo because he had like retard strength. I'm sorry, this is so inappropriate, man. But just, he was strong as an ox. Anyways, that's why we called him Mongo, because he just fucking manhandled shit like, Well, he's standing on top of the truck, and I see this MRE fly over our head. It's me, Sergeant Little, and I want to say it's Duncan. I can't remember. Anyways, this fucking thing goes, and it lands flat, goes, pah, and it just slides on the concrete. And Mongo looks at me, and he's like, Sergeant, it's like, I think that was an IED. And I was like, and you throw it off the fucking truck? And he's like, I'm not even lying, that's why he laughed. He's like, I was like, it's not an IED, it's just trash. So dude, I walk over there and pick it up, and it slides out. Sure as shit, it's a fucking IED. I'm like, motherfucker. So I kind of slide it, get the fuck, and I'm like, get in the trucks, get the fuck out of here, go now, because there's standard procedures that we have to do when you find an IED. So it's like the 5 C's or whatever. Confirm, you know, you have to confirm it. Okay, is it an IED? It's confirmed it's an IED. Okay, so now you got a cord on it. Don't let anybody near it, you know. Now you got to call it in. So I'm going through all like my little steps, and my first sergeant at the time, he's a fucking good dude, but he saved my ass that time. Anyways, I get on the fucking radio, and I'm like, you know, calling in. It's like a 9-line fucking IED report. And right after I give him the grid, I already know my first sergeant's like, he's like, break, break, break. That's on fucking base, you stupid fuck. And I'm like, Roger. And nothing comes on after that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So sure enough, he is like, I'll be there in 10 mics. So we got this fucking thing cordoned off, and everybody's pissed off at us because now they can't use the roads to drive through. We're like, you gotta go around, you gotta go. And like, fuck you, we're gonna go through here. And I was, go around. I'm getting pissed. I'm like, who the fuck? By this time, I already know. I'm asking Little. I was like, how did you not know? It weighed like fucking 30 pounds, bro. Like, what MRE weighs 30 pounds, bro? Like, it was a fucking big ass. So my first sergeant gets there, and he's just chewing my ass. He was like, what the fuck, V? You brought a goddamn IED on the fucking base. What am I gonna tell the sergeant? I'm just like, I don't know, first sergeant. I was like, I talked to Sergeant Little. We had already been up 48 hours. He didn't think anything of it. He saw MRE. He picked it up, put it in the back of the truck. So now that he's saying that shit, I'm like, we've been riding around with a fucking bomb on our fucking car, our Humvee, for like 5 days, bro. Like all 3. I'm like, so bro, we're just opening the back, blanket, slamming the door. People just throwing trash all over the place. We've been riding around with the IED in the back. I'm like, why does this shit happen to me, man? Like, anyways, they get it cleared. EOD comes, they take it out, and of course I'm standing outside the sergeant major's desk, like, and he's just screaming at my first sergeant, like, you motherfucking, what the hell you got going on over there? I don't know what the. And then it's not even my fault, but that's just the way it goes, bro. Everything fucking rolls downhill in the military. So I'm just, God damn it, I'm gonna get my ass chewed, probably get fired. And I'm like, well, at least I don't have to go out, but that's kind of fucked up. So I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, I can't let my guys go out there without me, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna happen. So finally, like, after first sergeant gets his ass chewed, I'm thinking, okay, now it's my turn. And he comes out and he's just like, hey, V, go back to the trailer. I'll go to your hooch, I'll talk to you later. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, okay, cool, I know I'm good now. But if I had to go in that role, yeah. I would have been scrubbing pots and pans and shit. Oh. Well, that's one of the stories, yeah. We've got a few of those fucking craziness.
Cool. So, how do you stay in touch with your family while deployed?
Email. Excuse me. They were called Arachna phones. It's a cell phone, but you had to buy like a little card to keep on putting time, and they're a little expensive at that first time. But I ended up buying one of those, and usually that's how I kept in contact with my wife and stuff like that. Actually, the first time we deployed, that's like I said, we're on Victory, so like I said, it had a little bit more comforts of home, I guess. And a homeless of people went in on a satellite, and they got a company to come out and hook up like a satellite for a few people. So it was like me, some of the other guys that put in money. I want to say it was like $250. But like, yeah, we had our own internet. So when shit would go black and everybody would have to, we'd just be like, so it's cool. Of course, and then at that time, what was it called? Got a little camera, what's it called? The fucking Skype or whatever. And we Skype and stuff like that. So that's how we did it. That's pretty much how we did it. And then I want to say the second and third, it was all phone. Like, It was mainly phone, because I mean, we were out so much. It's like, bro, we didn't have time to do anything, bro. It's like when we got back in, it's like you ate, you slept, took a shower, whatever it is, try to go to the gym, and then back in the truck, and you're fucking, you know what I mean? So, phone, and then and then the third time, it was a little bit more Skyping, but a lot more phone. I mean, that's my wife. She'll tell you the story. No bullshit. We're at the house. We're at a checkpoint. 3 Romeo. This is the second deployment. I'm talking. Babe, you know, we're gonna get ready to bed down, and you know, guard starts. You know, because every time we're out, we have to have guard. We have 50 cal, and it has to be manned all the time. So as we're talking, all of a sudden you hear, oh yeah, babe, I gotta go. Run to the roof. Called her back, babe, don't worry about it. It was all good. For real, like, yeah, fucking. All of a sudden you start hearing pop, 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 cook. You're like, oh fuck. Okay, well I gotta go. You know what I mean? But phone, yeah, that was the easiest way to. And then she could call me. You know what I mean? She ended up getting an international plan, so whenever she needed to call me or whatever, we talked pretty regularly, I guess. Yeah, a lot.
Okay. And besides the restaurants, I know you said they had like pizza and Burger King and stuff like that. What was the food like besides that?
The chow hall is awesome. Chow hall is always awesome. The cooks out there, man. They had like, of course they had your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then they had a midnight chow, because of course, you know, nothing stops out there. It's like either you're on a day shift or a night shift. So usually when we came back, I want to say like midnight chow, they called it midnight chow, but it closed like around 2 o'clock. So if we were at our mission, we're like, yo, we gotta hurry up, because I don't want to miss midnight chow, dog. Like, you know what I mean? So like, yo, let's try to get back as soon as possible. But the food was always awesome. And actually what we did, since we were on the street so much, because I mean, there comes a point where that last deployment, I didn't want to eat another MRE ever in my fucking life, bro. I was like, fucking hate MREs. I cannot stand them. You just get MRE'd out, bro. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I refuse. And like my gunner, like, of course I had younger soldiers still, and I was like, well, that box is for you, bro, because I'm not fucking with anything in it. So just, no. At this point, I was like, I'd rather go and fucking buy some chips or what are the beanie weenies and shit, bro. I lived on beanie weenies. I think that deployment, bro, I'd rather eat beanie weenies than eat that shit. But we used to, like, of course you didn't eat the goat or anything like out there, the lamb and shit like that, because it'd fuck your stomach up, bro. You'd be like, yo, this is delicious. The next day you'd be shitting your brain like, oh my God, like, oh, I can't take it. Why did I eat that? Which happened to me. I'll tell you that story later. No, but the chicken, they like rotisserie chicken. Chicken was bomb. And then you get some falafel bread, and just buy a few chickens and like, fuck, $10. Give them $10. They'll give you like 3 chickens and a big old bag of bread. We'd be eating. So we ate a lot on the economy, as far as, you know. And I remember one time, craziness, I guess you could say we're getting a little lazy, and it happens, you know what I mean? Like, because we'd always stop at the same dude to get the chicken. Oh, yo, let's stop and get some chicken from this dude. And he was kind of cool, you know what I mean? We mess with him when we have the interpreters talk to him and stuff like that. And he got to say, hey, if you got any problem, man, let us know. Just give us a call, you know. If there's somebody messing with you, we'll hook him up. So he ends up hooking us up these sandwiches and stuff like that, and my driver's eating it, and he stops, and he's like, yo. He's like, hey, tell him stop eating. He's like, hey, yo, stop. Wait, hold up on your food, And he starts pulling pills out, man. Like, turn the fuck around. Fucking, give me your food. And I'm looking in his bed. Oh, bro, he didn't have a good day that day. Matter of fact, he stopped selling chicken that day. I won't go into it, but yeah.
So as far as entertainment, what did you guys do, or were there any entertainers that came?
The cool thing, of course, like the Haji shops. You know what I mean? Every time we went somewhere, because it didn't matter what movie was out, you were gonna find it. You know what I mean? It'd be a bullshit copy, people walking around talking the whole movie and stuff, but we watch them because they're all the new movies that were coming out. So as far as that, we always had what movies were coming out and stuff like that, and that's usually what we did. On Thursday nights, that was our maintenance day. So Thursday we'd get all our trucks hooked up, and then usually Thursday we'd have a poker game. And we're like, all right, well, After dinner, we'll watch a movie, but we go in one of the dudes' rooms, whoever it was, we go watch a movie or whatever, and then after that, we play fucking cards. Poker, like Texas Hold'em. We're like, all right, guys, you know, play. And bro, I'm not even lying to you, bro. I want to say that's how I bought my wife's diamond earrings. Like, we playing every Thursday, bro, and there was like 3 months where I didn't lose. I was like, damn. And I kept my money, you know, the Oakley the cleaner. Man, I had that Oakley thing was like nothing but cash. I was like, dude, man, me and my wife are gonna fucking have a bomb-ass vacation when I go.
Yeah, you're all the same.
Yeah, no, bro. We were in Texas. We went to San Antonio. As a matter of fact, it was Black Friday, and San Antonio, and of course we went into the jewelry store, and I was off like, she doesn't know I had the money yet. She's like, well, let me see those. You know what I mean? She goes, oh, those are beautiful. I was like, all right. But now we can't go anywhere else because we broke. You got diamond rings. You got diamond earrings. Nah, but that's what we did, man. We played cards. Of course, we hit the gym. And that was really it, man. I mean, the gym when you could. And like I said, like before we go to bed or whatever it is, listen to music, watch some TV, and that's pretty much it. Like, you really didn't have a lot of time to yourself, you know what I mean? You're always doing something. So whatever time we did have, it was either like, okay, yo, I gotta try to do some laundry, you know what I mean? I gotta clean my room, because, you know, we still have standards, bro. I didn't let our guys, because some of you jokers are some dirty ones. You look like a dirty mother.
Me?
No, but you got kids that they don't clean their room. They don't, you know what I mean? So and we still have to do military, because God forbid Sergeant Major or First Sergeant walked into your room like, yo, I walked into one of your fucking rooms. There's piss bottles all over, because you didn't have restrooms and you had to go find a porta potty or walk outside and stuff. So, you know, dudes being dudes, walking in, there's 20 fucking the liter full of pee. You're like, you dirty motherfucker, like, throw that shit away, bro. I don't want to come in your room. Bro, why does it smell like pee? Because you got fucking 20 pee bottles on the floor, you disgusting fuck. Like, clean your room, dude. What the fuck? God. So even when that time, we still had to do our inspections and do all that stuff, make sure the guys aren't living like animals and shit like that. But that's just, you know, part of being in the Army, I guess, you know. But that's pretty much all we did, man. Work out, watch a movie, you know, play some cards. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Do you recall the day your service ended? Like, where were you and what were you doing?
Actually, I was already coaching, I think. When I was actually out of the Army, it was so many deployments, man. I never had, like, because it was crazy. I deployed in, was it 05, 06? And then I came home, and I want to say I was home for like 3 months, and I deployed for another year. And then I came home for a year, but I wasn't really home a year. And then I deployed again. But within that year, we're gone training, we're already in NTC, we're doing all this other crazy stuff. So actually, I was probably home for a good, 3 months out of that year, I guess. I don't know, because we were training so much. But I never got to really take vacations. So by the time it got time for me to retire, I had like 120 some odd days worth of vacation time. On top of that, it's called permissive TDY. They give you another 20 days. So like, I was like, yo, I got like 3 months, man, over 3 months, I'm gonna be on vacation. So you back that time up to when I got out, and yeah, I want to say I was on vacation for like 3 months, I think, almost 2.5 months, I guess. So when I got out, I remember I was at practice, and I looked into the date, I was like, yo, I'm officially out of the Army, motherfuckers, what's up? But I was coaching you guys already, so, but I remember I was at practice. When I actually left the base, because I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, and of course we had to drive fucking cross country. But I just remember like chucking them up, rolling out, and just like deuces, baby. Yep, we're out. So yeah, it was a good day.
And friendships, I know you get close with guys out there. Is there any people, anyone that you stay close with or in touch with today?
Oh yeah, I talk to all those guys all the time, man. More now than before. I don't know, you guys fucking know. You guys know what happened? All right, well, this is the time. I told you October was a really bad month for me, and every October, it's just one of those things, you know, kind of think about your boys and stuff like that. Last year, I don't know, I was with school, stressing. Of course, October, I'm thinking about all my boys that died. Our cousin Garrett had just passed away. He was a fireman. He died up north in the California fires. So it's just all that shit just hit me, man, and I don't know what was going on in my head, bro, but I fucking lost it. Shit, I don't even want to, you know, some shit happened. So next thing you know, I'm being 5150'd up in Chino. They had me there I was in there for a week. But it was crazy, like, when I was in there, it was just like, all of a sudden, it was just like night and day, man. I was like, I had no idea I was that fucked up. Like, wow. And for years, I guess I had been that way, you know what I mean? So it was just eye-opening for me, and then kind of, you know, now, of course, I've been seeing psychologists and doing all anger management classes and all this other stuff, but now it's just crazy. Like, I knew I had issues and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But you always say, I'm good. I don't need to talk to nobody. I don't talk to nobody. Until you fucking lose it, man. And I lost it in a bad way, bro. Like, that should have been a felony, let's put it that way. But I didn't even go to jail. They didn't take me to jail. Like, they took me straight to the hospital and, like, sent me 5150. So, like, the cop was a veteran, and I had told him, like, as soon as it happened, like, I'm just sitting on the fucking already waiting for him to come and get me. It's right here. Get your hands, like, lay down. I'm like, all right. And he starts talking to me, and I was like, yo, I just need to get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm just gonna fuck somebody up. I'm really, like, if that dude would have said, oh man, I couldn't imagine. Like, let's put it, I unloaded my piece right there in Tampico in front of the fucking Circle K, like, right in the middle of the intersection. And was just hoping somebody would get out of the car. Like, oh, get out of the car, motherfucker. You have no, like, it's over. Like, straight rage. But yeah, of course, and then that little thing in your head, you're like, you fucking moron. Fight or flight, bro. Like, oh, this has gotta go. Throw my gun. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it was just bad, man. But like, after I got in the hospital and was there, like, it was funny because everybody's in there. I don't belong in here. This is bullshit. Blah 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 blah. And honestly, I got up. I was like, yeah, I need to be in here. I need to figure some shit out. Like, I don't know what's going on with me right now. Like, so this is probably the best place for me. And honestly, it's crazy. I've never been in a place like that and had totally at ease. Like, even though I'm in the hospital, I'm fucking, like, there's a bunch of, like, I kind of felt like an asshole because I was like, yo, there's some people in there that has some fucking crazy problems, man, and I'm over here like, you fucking pussy motherfucker. I was like, I'm telling myself, I was like, you're such a big fucking puss, dude. You're in here and fucking, you know, there's people way worse than I am, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. But still, it was one of those things where kind of like, I had no idea I was that bad, man. None. Just thought it was fucking, that's just the way it was. And then when that happened, just complete 180, man. Fucking, you know, started having to talk to psychiatrists and all that stuff, and kind of really opened my eyes to what, you know, I was doing. I was like, man, so yeah, it was crazy. Like, even my marriage right now, complete 180, fucking, it's fucking awesome now. But yeah, 6-7 years, bro, I was kind of fucking lost in the wind, man. So that was probably the best thing. That is the best thing. It's messed up. Now I'm going to court and having to deal with all that stuff, but it's eventually going to get dropped. I got lucky, man. Like, straight up lucky as hell. I mean, so, but yeah. But now, like I said, now we're after that, I started calling my guys, yo, and I let them know, hey, bro, like, I fucking lost it, man. How you doing? Because these are the guys I had on my truck, you know what I mean? They seen everything I seen. So I'm like, yo, how are you doing? And it was funny when that shit happened. I'm talking to my gunner, and he's like, bro, it's like, I was drinking a fucking bottle of whiskey a day. Like, not a small bottle, but a bottle of whiskey. And I was like, well, how you doing, bro? I was like, yeah, man, I'm doing a lot better. I was like, all right, cool. When something like that happens, you got to, like, of course, I mean, and actually, I got a website. It's all 710 guys that everybody we serve. So it was like, yo, man, how's everybody doing? Just check Battle Buddy check. You know what I mean? How's everybody doing? So, yeah, you got to check on your boys.
Did you ever receive any medals or citations?
Well, I'm playing. Yeah, no, I have 2 Bronze Stars, Meritorious Service Medal. Of course, like all the other Army commendations, Army Achievement Medals, you know. The one I'm most proud of is it's called the Audie Murphy Club. It's the top 1% of all like non-commissioned officers in the Army who make it, and it's like a crazy board. You start at the company level, and then you go from the company level, you go to like the battalion brigade level, or then you go to, so it's just like these 3 huge ass boards, and it's crazy amount of questions. Like you have to know his whole bio, like he was born and he's born a sharecropper son. It's like 4 paragraphs long. You have to remember all his medals, where he went, all the campaigns, and it's just this crazy ass test. Like, and I ended up passing it, man. Like, if you want to talk about, that was probably the toughest thing I ever had to do, like by any class, by no means and stuff. And I'm not even lying. You're sitting in a chair and you're sitting in the position of attention. And I'm sitting there for like, I had been sitting there for like at least 35 minutes, and I'm blah, 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 and they wanted to take a break. It's like, all right, Sergeant Valencia, why don't you go ahead and, dismiss yourself and come back, and we'll recall when we're going to start again already. And I'm trying to get up, bro. My feet are asleep, dude. And I'm like, you already feel the needles. And so I was like, dude, my feet are asleep. I'm like, and I'm kind of laughing. I put my head down, and I'm trying to push myself up, and I kind of sit back down. And he's like, Sergeant Valencia, you good? I was like, Roger, Sergeant Major, my feet are asleep. I can't get up. And he started laughing. So he's like, go ahead and move your. I was like, oh my God. I was like, all right, Roger. And then you have to get up, and if I get up, I snap salute, do an about face and walk back out. Oh man. And then I had to go back in and fucking do it again. But still, like when I passed, it was me and this other guy that passed out of like 30 some dudes. It was just me and him. So I was like, it was legit. It's a big old medal. As a matter of fact, I came out on the newspaper, like an Iraq fucking newspaper, like a big book and shit like that. It was pretty fucking badass. But then when you get back, they have an award ceremony for you and everything like that. It was pretty fucking sweet. But that opened a whole mess of windows as far as job-wise. Oh, well, let me call because the Army's just one big network, man. So if you know the people, you're like, yo, hey, look, I got a sergeant first class right here that's getting ready to leave and stuff like that. He wants to kind of shaft job, you know what I mean? He's trying to go to school else. So I was like, oh yeah, we got just have him call HRC and give him my number or whatever. Before you know it, I'm like, yo, I got a pretty cool job right now, man.